Here is the General Hospital weekly recap for episodes that aired June 30th through July 4th, 25. Natalia dies alone in her hotel room as Marco rescues Christina, and Sunny is blamed for the violence. This week on General Hospital, Natalia showed up at Daisy's christening. Sunny pulled her aside and broke the news that he wasn't planning on running away with her, just setting her up with a good life. Chase called Ada Turner to let her know Natalia went to the church. Curtis was unhappy that Portia set things up so that Jordan would catch them canoodling in his office. Marco was getting garbled texts from Natalia. He assumed she was drunk as usual, but Lucas advised him that he should reach out to her. A couple of men broke into Charlie's pub and spread gasoline everywhere. Ada Turner told Anna to put out an APB for Natalia. After drinking whiskey and downing several pills, Natalia passed out. As Christina was investigating the gasoline all over Charlie's, a Molotov cocktail crashed through the window and a fire erupted. Jason informed Sunny that Natalia had yet to arrive at the airfield. Marco saw the fire from the road, kicked in the door, threw a blanket over himself and Christina, and got her out of there in the nick of time. Chase and an officer arrived at the hotel to find Natalia passed out. She was rushed to the hospital, but she ultimately died. Anna and Chase investigated Natalia's room, trying to determine if she committed suicide or if she was set up to look that way. Alexis verbally thrashed Sunny for bringing violence wherever he goes. Michael revealed to Sasha that he was still having pain and then described the debridement process he went through in excruciating detail. Carly was upset about the fire, and Jack told her it was PTSD from when Michael was burned to a crisp. At General Hospital, Anna told Marco about Natalia, and he visited her body. Sidwell was screaming at someone on the phone that they should have made sure no one was in Charlie's before setting fire to it. Emma suggested to Gio that they use drastic measures, aka illegal, to get into Professor Dalton's lab. Joss revealed to Vaughn that part of the reason she became a WSB agent was to one day take Sunny down. After she opened up to him, he kissed her passionately. Sidwell informed Ms. Wu that he had hired two of her goons to set the fire and framed her for it, so she begrudgingly fled town. He assured her that once Sunny was dead, she could return unhindered. Liz, Lucas, and Isaiah filled Marco in on what happened with his mother, and he openly blamed Sunny in front of Anna and Chase. Jason and Sunny agreed to target Marco to get to Sidwell. Brooke Lynn told Tracy about the discrepancy with Sunny's investment in deception that Natalia found. Tracy wanted to take the evidence to the cops. Chase arrived and filled the two of them in on the fire and Natalia. Sidwell worried when he learned that Marco had been in the fire. Rocco and Danny asked Emma what she knew about Britt Westbourne. Lulu advised Laura to disavow Sunny, but Laura felt it would tear their family apart. Dante told Jason that Selena Wu was a suspect in Charlie's fire. Trina informed Kai that he shouldn't get stuck in the middle of the Quartermaines' constant battles. Sunny told Ada Turner that she could have caused Natalia to kill herself, but said she was just doing her job. Jason told Dante that Ms. Wu wouldn't have targeted Christina, so Dante jumped to the conclusion that it was Sidwell. Laura refused to disavow Sunny because the violence could escalate. Tracy told Gio that he could be targeted by one of Sunny's enemies. Wiley was mad that the judge wouldn't let him be with Willow. Laura asked Sunny what he knew about the fire. Rocco walked in and demanded that Lulu tell him about Britt. Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On General Hospital, WSB agent Vaughn has been single since first appearing on the show in March, and may be starting a new romance with younger agent Jocelyn Jacks. In real life, Vaughn's portrayer is happily in love. Durfee has been married to his wife, Amber Rude Durfee, since September 2019. They have been together since 2012. The couple runs a joint TikTok account and regularly posts funny videos on their Instagram accounts about everyday relationship quirks and situations. The couple opened up to Soap Opera Digest recently about their marriage and how they met. They met on social media through a mutual friend who had been roommates with Amber in Los Angeles and thought they had some things in common. Amber was resistant at first because he was 10 years younger and an actress or model, but Durfee persisted. I may have stalked her on Facebook a little bit and sent her a message and continue to send her messages. Then we kind of opened up a dialogue and started talking, he said in his interview. The General Hospital star knew there was potential when he met her and got her brother's approval at the same time. Durfee said the couple does not plan to have children, focusing on their rescue dogs. They promote the adoption of other rescue dogs at Long Beach Animal Care Services. My wife is obsessed with dogs and volunteers at the shelter, he told Esad. Both of our dogs are foster fails. One we rescued from South Korea, and our other is a street dog who they found running around, pregnant with 8 puppies. They are our little babies. We are not going to have kids, so those are our kids. They're our life. Durfee, 36, has appeared on several episodes of the series 9-1-1, playing a serial killer. According to IMDb, he has also appeared on Yellowstone, Hacks, and Last Man Standing, and also starred as a model on The Bold and the Beautiful in 2012. Before landing the role of Vaughn, he was a regular on the short-lived TV series Driven, starring with Michael Rourke, who just landed a role on Days of Our Lives. General Hospital spoilers reveal that the show released a sneak peek video where Rocco Falconeri asks if Britt Westbourne is his real mother. Lulu will have some family emergency news for Dante Falconeri, but Rocco will stop her SOS and push for the whole truth. Now that Rocco has come home and brought up Britt's name, Lulu can already tell this is going to be a difficult conversation. There are certain things about Rocco's past that Lulu won't be able to avoid any longer. In the episode that'll air Monday, July 7th, Rocco will reiterate that he wants to know about Britt Westbourne. Lulu will find herself in panic mode as she realizes the whole ugly story has to come out. Rocco will ask if it's true that Lulu didn't give birth to him and will seek confirmation that Britt did instead. A flustered Lulu will dive for her phone and announce that she's calling Rocco's dad. Since this is turning into a family crisis, Lulu will think Dante needs to be present for the rest of this discussion. However, Rocco will stop Lulu from making that call and push for a response on the spot. It's clear that Rocco will be impatient when it comes to the answers he's seeking about how he came into the world. "Mom, just tell me what's going on. Is Britt my real mother?" Finn asks in Monday's GH sneak peek video. Lulu will stand there like her mind struggling to keep up with all this. The last thing Lulu expected was for Rocco to walk through the door and confront her about Britt, so it'll be a lot for her to process. Lulu may ask where Rocco got an idea like that, so he may mention Brooklyn Quartermain's file with his 2 birth certificates and all that confusing information. Of course, Lulu will eventually assure Rocco that she's indeed his biological mother, and Dante is his biological father as well. That said, Britt did give birth to Rocco in a bizarre surrogacy situation. Rocco will ultimately get updates on the stolen embryo saga and realize his existence is much more complicated than he thought. Dante will become part of all this drama sooner or later, so he'll be able to help offer an explanation. Even so, Rocco will be angry with his parents over all the secrets. Lulu will be even more furious with Brooklyn for digging them up and letting them leak to Rocco like this. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Michael Crinthos may offer Willow Tate a visitation deal, but Drew Kane will likely warn her not to take it. During the week of July 7 to 11, Drew will indeed have a warning for Willow. We'll see Drew pass along some words of caution and perhaps try to pump the brakes on any agreement Willow might make with Michael. However, Willow is desperate to spend quality time with Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos ASAP. The longer Willow is kept away from her kids, the more willing she'll be to negotiate. Although Michael previously planned to delay the visitation hearing and ultimately make sure Willow got nothing, his stance seems to be softening. In the July 3rd episode, Michael looked heartbroken after Wiley complained about the judge and expressed his desire to see his mommy now. There's no guarantee that Michael and Willow will be able to settle on a solution, but Michael may at least be willing to try. It sounds like Willow and Michael will set up a meeting, one that Drew disapproves of. Drew clearly wants to control Willow, so he won't like the idea of her caving in when it comes to any of Michael's demands. That's especially true since Michael thinks Drew is the real problem. After Drew delivers a Willow warning, it looks like she'll move forward with meeting Michael anyway. Michael may push for a one-on-one conversation where they talk about what's truly best for their children, which is having both their parents in their lives. That said, Michael won't accept Drew's manipulation tactics or anything that might harm Wiley and Amelia. Willow's marriage to Drew could still be a deal-breaker as far as Michael's concerned. GH spoilers say Michael will spell out his terms in the July 10th episode. It appears Michael will pitch his side of this potential agreement and let Willow decide whether she can meet him halfway. Even if Willow isn't willing to call off the wedding, Michael could at least demand a delay. Michael might insist there are too many changes for the kids right now as it is, and push Willow to table the marriage idea for now. Of course, Michael may also specify that any visits Willow might have with Amelia and Wiley have to happen without Drew around. Michael may want to supervise these visits and make sure Drew stays as far away as possible. Even if Willow strikes a deal with Michael, Drew may sabotage it in the end. That seems to be Drew's pattern when it comes to any attempts Michael and Willow make to put the children first. Plus, the secret of Gen Z Sidwell bribing Judge Eva Heron has to come out at some point. That could blow up the custody drama all over again, so stay tuned for updates on any stunning news to come. General Hospital spoilers reveal that many fans are looking for an explanation following Kirsten Storm's exit as Maxie Jones. Nicole Paggi popped up as a Maxie recast in the July 3rd episode, so let's talk about how long she'll be staying in the role. Thankfully, Kirsten Storm's departure isn't permanent. A GH spokesperson confirmed to TV Insider that Storms had some scheduling conflicts, so they brought in a replacement for a handful of shows. Nicole Paggi filmed multiple episodes at one time, so viewers will see a bit more of her over the next couple months. In addition to Paggi's appearance on July 3rd, fans can watch her as Maxie in the July 30 episode, as well as the episode airing August 13th. However, Kirsten Storms won't be gone all that long since her return air date is scheduled for the week of August 18th. That's when Storms will make her on-air comeback as Maxie, so things will get back to normal soon enough. Until then, Nicole Paggi has a chance to bring some drama and put her own spin on Maxie. This isn't the first time Paggi has filled in for Storms, so viewers may recall when she played Maxie briefly in December 2023 and January 2024. It's always an adjustment when another actor hits the screen, but Paggi is doing an excellent job so far. Sometimes scheduling issues make recasts necessary, so it's best to just have fun with it and enjoy seeing another version of the character. Maxie may find herself stuck in Brooklyn Quartermain and Lulu Spencer's escalating feud as Paggi's brief run continues. Now that Brooklyn's Britt Westbourne research has landed in Rocco Falconeri's hands, Lulu's going to be livid and will no doubt unleash her wrath on BLQ. Will Maxie once again try to play peacemaker? Is there any hope for Brooklyn and Lulu ever calling a real truce? Fans recently saw Maxie Jones don a different face on General Hospital. Another actress has taken over the character just as Kirsten Storms recently celebrated 20 years in the role. Fans are already wondering what is going on behind the scenes with this recent change. Maxie Jones has been part of General Hospital since 1990. The daughter of super couple Frisco Jones and Felicia Cummings, she was initially portrayed by a set of child actresses. Over the years, various actresses have played the part. Robin Richards, for example, played the character for around 11 years, from 1993 to 2004, despite a brief recast. In 2005, the character would be played by Kirsten Storms, who would continue in the role well until 2025. However, General Hospital fans would be treated to a new, yet familiar Maxie during the July 3rd, 2025 episode. During the episode, the character was portrayed by actress Nicole Paggi. This isn't the first time fans have seen Paggi play Maxie. She previously filled in for Storms back in 2023 due to a scheduling conflict. In addition, many may recognize her from appearances on 911, The Rookie, Feds, and 90210. In fact, there have been a few other times when Storms was replaced on the soap. Other actresses, including Jen Lilly and Molly Burnett, have also filled in for her in years past. And as noted by TV Insider, a spokesperson has confirmed that the change is only temporary. Storms will return to the soap in the week of August 18th. However, this isn't the last fans have seen of Peggy either. She will appear as Maxie again on July 30th and August 13th before Storms makes her return to Port Charles. That said, the change is somewhat timely, as Storms recently celebrated her 20th anniversary on the soap. She also recently spoke with the publication while looking back and noting that she wasn't the first actress to bring Maxie to life. As she shared, "I think I knew I was going to just do it very differently than the actress before, and she was much younger, so I knew that the way the producers and writers were planning on taking the character was going to be different than what Maxie had been." Storms is also no stranger to how fans can react to recasts. At the time, she noted, "I thought fans would be a little bit upset about it initially, sure, but I thought if I do my best, I can win that group over. I try not to think very negatively with situations like that." For her part, Peggy also shared her excitement in getting to play Maxie on social media back in 2023. Taking to Instagram at the time, she shared a screenshot of the soap, noting, "So fun playing Maxie Jones on General Hospital." Port Charles has endured its fair share of turmoil, but nothing could have prepared its residents for the explosive turn of events that now threatens to unravel the very fabric of the city. In the dead of night, a fire erupted without warning, engulfing Charlie's Pub, once a symbol of peace and power in Port Charles. The blaze consumed more than a building. It tore through years of memories, trust, and the fragile calm that had settled over a deeply divided town. For many, Charlie's was more than just a bar. It was a sanctuary, a hub of loyalty and secrecy, and a quiet cornerstone of sunny Corinthos' empire. Among the cries that pierced the smoke-filled air was one that would haunt Sonny forever, the scream of his daughter, Christina, trapped inside. Though she survived, the emotional scars left behind became the ignition point for a war that would shake Port Charles to its core. Sonny, long the undisputed power in the underworld, immediately recognized the fire as more than an act of vandalism. It was a declaration of war, targeted, deliberate, and meant to destabilize everything he had built. He wasn't alone in sensing the depth of the threat. Jason Morgan, Sonny's most trusted ally, sprang into action without hesitation. Partnering with Michael Corinthos, they began an off-the-books investigation, sifting through ashes for clues while the embers still glowed. It didn't take long before they uncovered a chilling truth. The man behind the fire was Sidwell, a known rival who had orchestrated not just the pub's destruction, but a previous arson attack that nearly killed Michael. Yet even more disturbing than Sidwell's betrayal was the identity of his powerful backers, a rogue faction within the World Security Bureau. Once a beacon of international order, the WSB had splintered. This shadowy faction had sold its allegiance to the highest bidder, providing Sidwell with surveillance tools, encryption technology, and global reach far beyond Port Charles. As Jason uncovered encrypted files and surveillance data, a name appeared repeatedly: Vaughn, a covert WSB operative who had recently grown close to Jocelyn, someone Sonny considered family. Whether knowingly or not, she was entangled in a dangerous game, potentially being used to access Corinthos intelligence from within. Meanwhile, Christina wandered the streets like a shadow of herself, her trauma buried beneath a thin shell of normalcy. The fire had not just shaken her, it had reignited the pull of the world she once tried to escape. Sonny saw it in her distant gaze and fading laughter, and it fueled his determination to crush the threat before it devoured what was left of his family. As Jason continued to dig deeper, the scope of the threat expanded. Sidwell was not acting alone. His operation was part of a larger, multi-phased effort to dismantle the criminal and political balance of Port Charles. The rogue WSB cell, operating out of Eastern Europe, had used their influence to wage covert psychological and economic warfare, targeting entire communities under the guise of diplomatic legitimacy. The implications were terrifying. This was no longer about mob rivalry. It was about infiltration and corruption, the slow rot of power infecting the highest levels of society. In response, Jason reactivated old networks, pulled favors from dormant allies, and began neutralizing Sidwell's operation one piece at a time. Back at his estate, Sonny convened a secret war council. The room was filled with trusted loyalists, individuals who had proven themselves not just through words, but through blood. Operations were launched to dismantle Sidwell's financial web, target shell corporations, and infiltrate encrypted WSB command hubs. Not all resistance came from the Corinthos camp. Marco, reeling from the death of his beloved Natalia, had initially blamed Sonny. But as inconsistencies piled up and a confession from a captured arsonist pointed directly to Sidwell, Marco's grief morphed into betrayal. Quietly, he began gathering evidence to expose the man he had once trusted. Elsewhere, whispers of unease began to ripple through the city. A warehouse supervisor vanished. Government employees went missing. Prominent families started to discreetly move assets and withdraw from political alliances. The city's elite sensed it. Port Charles was approaching a tipping point. For Sonny, this was no longer just about revenge. It was about survival of his family, his empire, and his legacy. He authorized aggressive countermeasures, including cyber attacks and covert eliminations. Even Jason, once the moral compass of Sonny's operation, became a phantom, infiltrating the WSB's darkest corners, uncovering plots to install political operatives and reroute illegal trade networks through new channels. Sonny, once a weary father contemplating retirement, had been transformed. He was no longer interested in negotiation. What emerged was a warlord, colder, sharper, and willing to sacrifice whatever was necessary to protect what remained of his world. As Port Charles stands on the edge of a storm, the question isn't whether justice will come, it's how much of the city will survive when it does. Jason and Sonny are no longer just reacting, they're executing a full-scale takedown of a global conspiracy, one that seeks to erase their history, their power, and their family. And while the fire at Charlie's may have started the war, the true battle is just beginning. What began as a tragic act of arson has escalated into a dangerous, far-reaching conflict threatening to engulf not just the Corinthos family, but all of Port Charles. With international players, personal vendettas, and a crumbling line between justice and vengeance, the city now stands at a critical crossroads. In this war for control, loyalty, and legacy, no one is truly safe. In a shocking twist that has gripped viewers, the drama surrounding the fire at Charlie's pub has taken a new turn, revealing a deeper and more sinister plot. At the center of it all is Sidwell, a man whose deceptive scheme has endangered lives and dragged innocent people into chaos. Sidwell orchestrated a dishonest plan designed to serve his own interests, regardless of the harm it would cause others. His strategy included manipulating people, planting evidence, and setting up a chain of events that led to a destructive fire at Charlie's pub. The incident sent shockwaves through the community, especially devastating Sonny's family. Shockingly, Selena was pulled into the scheme. Though she was not the mastermind, 2 of her employees were used by Sidwell to start the fire, and he had already assembled misleading evidence to frame her as the culprit. While some believed the mob lady could have exposed Sidwell's actions, Sidwell was confident that Sonny would dismiss her warnings and even help clear Selena's name. Still, he bet on Sonny uncovering only the evidence Sidwell planted, pushing suspicion even more toward Selena. Fearing further damage, Marco's father urged Selena to flee town to avoid deeper entanglement, but he underestimated her strength and intelligence. Longtime viewers know Selena as a resilient, strategic woman who rarely allows herself to be cornered. Selena may appear to comply with the advice to leave, but she is already setting her own counterplan into motion. Behind the scenes, she intends to secretly meet with Sonny to reveal the truth about Sidwell's deceit. She will bring vital evidence to prove her innocence and propose working together to bring Sidwell down. Her actions may soon surprise everyone, especially Sidwell, who believes his plan is foolproof. However, trouble looms for him as 2 of the city's most powerful and feared bosses are expected to get involved. The tension builds as fans wonder, can Selena expose Sidwell's lies and prove she had no part in the fire? Will her bold move to confront Sonny shift the narrative in her favor? As the plot thickens, one thing is clear: Selena is not a woman to be underestimated. Her next steps could change everything. In the latest dramatic twist on General Hospital, two young men find themselves at odds with their mothers as long-buried secrets erupt to the surface. Tensions escalate between Gio and Rocco, brothers by blood but strangers by experience, as both grapple with painful truths about their origins and the women who raised and betrayed them. Gio is already seething with anger over the secret that his biological mother, Brooklyn Quartermain, kept from him all his life, that she gave him up for adoption and never told his father, Dante Falconeri, she was pregnant. Feeling rejected and betrayed, Gio has cut ties with the Quartermains and now lives with Emma and Anna, refusing any communication with BLQ. His fury is compounded by years of deception from his adoptive mother, Camilla, who has since passed, and other family members, including Lois and Gloria. Gio, who has spent over a decade orphaned, now sees his biological parents as the only ones who haven't lied to him, though his resentment toward Brooklyn remains deeply rooted. Meanwhile, his brother Rocco is about to experience a similar emotional upheaval. Despite growing up with both his parents, Dante and Lulu Spencer, Rocco's world is shaken when he discovers a hidden file sheen containing his original birth certificate. To his shock, it lists Britt Westbourne as his mother and identifies him by a different name, Ben Westbourne. The discovery stems from a plan Brooklyn devised in frustration. After Lulu accused her of being a liar, BLQ considered revealing Rocco's strange birth circumstances by using a copy of the birth certificate. However, she later changed her mind, fearing it would cause Rocco emotional harm. Despite her decision to keep the file hidden, Rocco and Danny stumble upon it, triggering a confrontation between Rocco and Lulu. This revelation exposes a bizarre truth. Britt Westbourne once stole Lulu's embryo and carried Rocco to term, making Britt the surrogate in an illegal and highly unethical way. Understandably, Rocco is left confused, angry, and questioning everything he believed about his family. Lulu, blindsided by the confrontation, immediately blames Brooklyn for planting the information. In reality, BLQ had no intention of revealing the secret, but becomes the scapegoat nonetheless. This ignites fresh conflict not only between Lulu and Brooklyn, but also ripples into their sons' lives. As both young men wrestle with the trauma of their upbringings, their newly forming bond is threatened. Gio, already harboring resentment toward Brooklyn, is likely to lash out further, especially if he sees her actions as an attack on his new brother Rocco. He may accuse BLQ of once again causing pain in their family, saying, "You threw me away, and now you've hurt Rocco too." On the other hand, Rocco's anger is focused squarely on Lulu for hiding the truth. Interestingly, he may feel a sense of gratitude toward Brooklyn for unintentionally revealing what he believes he had a right to know. If Rocco sides with BLQ and Gio defends Lulu, the brothers could find themselves in direct conflict, each supporting the mother the other rejects. This role reversal could add tension to their fragile sibling relationship, just as it's beginning to take root. Both sons feel wronged, both are searching for honesty, and both are caught in the emotional crossfire between Brooklyn and Lulu. This storyline marks a turning point not only for Gio and Rocco, but also for Brooklyn and Lulu. The long-standing animosity between the two women has now ensnared their sons, making reconciliation more urgent than ever. Although it seems unlikely, a truce between them may be the only way to preserve what's left of their fractured families. As Kelly Thiebaud returns to the screen, likely connected to the Britt Westbourne storyline, the drama is set to intensify. With Monday, July 7th, promising major confrontations and emotional fallout, General Hospital fans can expect a week of explosive developments. In the end, whether Gio and Rocco can overcome the betrayals and forge a true brotherly bond remains uncertain. What's clear is that the actions of their mothers, past and present, will shape their futures in ways no one could have predicted. In the vibrant, drama-filled world of Port Charles, where secrets simmer beneath the surface, recent events have rocked the community to its core. From a son's relentless quest for justice to a father's hidden struggles with pain and a polarizing figure's departure, General Hospital has delivered a whirlwind of emotion and intrigue. These interconnected stories, of Marco's pursuit of truth, Michael Corinthos's battle with pain, and Natalia Ramirez's controversial exit paint a vivid picture of a town grappling with betrayal, redemption, and the enduring power of family. Here's a look at the gripping developments that have left fans buzzing and Port Charles forever changed. At the heart of this saga is Marco, a grieving son whose refusal to accept the official story of his mother, Natalia's death, set off a chain of shocking revelations. Natalia, a resilient and sharp-witted woman, was ruled to have died by suicide via overdose, but Marco's instincts told him otherwise. Driven by love and suspicion, he returned to the room where she passed, combing through every detail for answers. His persistence paid off when he discovered a hidden note in Natalia's handwriting. "Sidwell wants to kill me. I'm scared. If anything happens to me, it's him." The revelation that Sidwell, Marco's own father, was implicated in her death shattered his world. Confronting Sidwell, Marco was met with a chilling confession. Sidwell admitted to orchestrating Natalia's murder to protect his empire, built on a web of criminal activities: money laundering, racketeering, bribery, and even arms deals. Natalia had uncovered these secrets and planned to expose them, making her a threat Sidwell couldn't tolerate. The betrayal sparked a fierce confrontation, with Marco's rage clashing against Sidwell's cold justification that it was all for the family legacy. But Marco rejected this blood-soaked inheritance, vowing to dismantle his father's empire and bring justice for his mother. Marco's mission transformed him from a grieving son to a determined crusader. He allied with Sonny, his father's rival, to uncover evidence of Sidwell's crimes. Together, they exposed a network of corruption that reached every corner of Port Charles. Marco's bold moves, leaking documents, tipping off authorities, and rallying unexpected allies like Natalia's old friends, put him in Sidwell's crosshairs. Threats escalated from a ransacked apartment to sabotage breaks, but Marco pressed on. His efforts culminated in a dramatic press conference where he laid bare Sidwell's crimes to the world. The fallout was swift. Investigations launched, stocks plummeted, and Sidwell's empire unraveled. In a gripping courtroom showdown, Marco's testimony, backed by irrefutable evidence, led to Sidwell's conviction and life sentence. Standing outside the courthouse, Marco emerged not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of courage, determined to rebuild his mother's legacy into something honest and true. While Marco's battle played out in the public eye, Michael Corinthos faced a quieter, but no less perilous, struggle. In a recent episode aired on July 1, 2025, viewers glimpsed Michael's vulnerability during a candid moment. Battling lingering nerve damage from a past fire, he admitted to relying on painkillers to manage his discomfort, particularly during significant events like a loved one's christening. This revelation stunned his friend, Sasha Gilmore Corbin, who had believed Michael was fully recovered. His confession raised red flags. Could this reliance signal the start of a dangerous dependency? Michael's challenges extend beyond physical pain. As a dedicated father to Wiley and Amelia Corinthos and a co-parent to Daisy Gilmore, he juggles immense responsibilities. The pressure to be present for his family, combined with his ongoing pain, could push him toward a darker path. The specter of addiction looms, especially as whispers of a custody battle emerge. Willow Tate and Drew Kane, with their own motives, could exploit Michael's struggles to challenge his fitness as a parent, setting the stage for a heart-wrenching courtroom drama. Alternatively, rumors of a scandal involving Judge Eva Heron and bribery allegations could upend Michael's custody arrangement, driving him to seek solace in painkillers, not for physical relief, but to numb emotional devastation. The ripple effects of Michael's story promise to touch every corner of Port Charles. His father, Sonny Corinthos, and mother, Carly Spencer, may grapple with guilt and advocacy, while friends like Sasha could play pivotal roles in spotting warning signs. As Michael navigates this turbulent path, General Hospital sets the stage for a compelling exploration of addiction, family bonds, and resilience. Adding another layer to Port Charles's drama is the departure of Natalia Ramirez, portrayed by the talented Eva LaRue. Introduced as a fierce mother protecting her daughter Blaze's singing ambitions, Natalia arrived with promise, but quickly became a lightning rod for controversy. Her disapproval of Blaze's relationship with Christina Corinthos, and later her son Marco's relationship with Lucas Jones, painted her as resistant to change in a town that values love and acceptance. Fans struggled to connect with her, a stark contrast to LaRue's beloved role as Maria Santos on All My Children. Efforts to redeem Natalia, including a romance with Sonny Corinthos, fell flat. The pairing felt rushed, lacking the depth needed to soften her image. Fans noted the irony of her opposing Christina's relationship while romancing Christina's father, highlighting a disconnect in her character arc. LaRue herself acknowledged the visceral fan backlash, noting in a Soap Opera Digest interview that "they just hated my character so much." Despite her enthusiasm for the role, Natalia's story remained one-dimensional, missing the vulnerability or growth that could have won viewers over. A late reveal about her DUI history aimed to humanize her, but instead felt like a hollow plot device. Fans remain divided, with some lamenting missed opportunities for a redemption arc, while others see her exit as inevitable. Could a deeper exploration of her past, perhaps a story of loss or betrayal, have made her more relatable? Or was her rigid stance too at odds with Port Charles's progressive spirit? As Natalia's chapter closes, LaRue's reflections underscore the unpredictable nature of soap operas, where even seasoned actors face the challenge of winning over audiences. The unfolding dramas in Port Charles, Marco's triumph over corruption, Michael's precarious battle with pain, and Natalia's polarizing exit highlight the enduring themes of General Hospital: truth, betrayal, and the strength to rise above. Marco's journey reminds us that justice, though costly, can reshape a legacy. Michael's struggle underscores the fragility of resilience in the face of personal and familial pressures. And Natalia's departure serves as a poignant reminder that even flawed characters leave a mark, sparking debate and reflection. As Port Charles heals and evolves, these stories resonate with audiences, particularly those navigating their own challenges in midlife. They remind us of the courage it takes to confront painful truths, the dangers of hidden struggles, and the importance of empathy in understanding others. General Hospital continues to captivate with its blend of heart, drama, and hope, inviting viewers to stay tuned for the next chapter in this ever-evolving saga. What's next for Marco, Michael, and the residents of Port Charles? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the fight for truth and redemption is far from over. GH fans were heartbroken when Roger Howarth left the show in November 2023. He played Austin Gatlin Holt on the ABC soap since Twiwine, until the character was killed off in 2023. The murderer was never revealed. Viewers suspect it was Cyrus Renaud, since he later killed Sam McCall and others. General Hospital could be about to kick off another murder mystery with Drew Kane, but Austin's murder remains unresolved. The role of Austin Gatlin Holt wasn't Roger Howarth's first time on General Hospital. He played 3 different roles on the show. He first appeared in 2012 as Todd Manning, the character he played on One Life to Live. However, he was unable to play the character for very long due to a lawsuit between ABC and Prospect Park, the company that bought the rights to One Life to Live and All My Children after the soaps were canceled. Roger Howarth returned in 2013 in the role of Franco Baldwin, previously played by movie star James Franco. Franco was killed in 2011. The actor assumed the role of Austin a few months later until his departure in 2003. General Hospital fans have been wondering what the actor has been up to since leaving the show. Some lucky fans got to meet him during a scheduled meet-and-greet appearance. The actor joined Instagram in 2022, but has only made a handful of posts. His last post was in June 2023. He made a surprising return to social media earlier this week to share a life-changing experience he recently had. Roger Howarth broke his year-long social media silence to share an experience that gave him a new perspective on acting. He's widely considered one of the best actors on daytime, but there's always room for knowledge and growth. He took to social media to thank Candace Nicholas Lippman for changing his life. Candace Nicholas Lippman just changed how I think about acting. I will never forget what I saw last night. He wrote on a photo with the actress. He added, "I am just publicly thanking her for that. I don't really know what else to say. I'm excited to see what she does next." The post didn't give much detail about what Candace Nicholas Lippman did to receive such praise, but a little social media sleuthing revealed the answer. Candace Nicholas Lippman is an actress who has appeared on Grey's Anatomy, Good Trouble, and more. She's also a spoken-word poet who incorporates her faith into her work. She performed in a solo play over the weekend of June 27th. The sold-out off-Broadway production of A Rose Called Candace was sold out through the film weekend. It seems Roger Howarth was one of the lucky patrons in attendance, and he was moved by what he witnessed. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.